What's up, YouTube? So just getting started here with our SQL tutorials. The first thing we should discuss is what SQL is. So SQL is a standard language for accessing and manipulating databases. It stands for Structured Query Language, and it lets you access and manipulate databases. Now, what is a database? So a database is a collection of information that is organized so that it can be easily accessed, managed, and updated. And the language we're going to use to do that is SQL. So since that's clear, we can go ahead and start with the basics. Now, a database consists of several tables, which is basically the schema of the database. So it has tables, and those tables have columns, and each table has multiple rows, which is basically the data in those tables. So with SQL, you have several commands that you can do, which will basically give you that data. So you can execute queries against a database, and you can retrieve data from a database. You can insert records into a database, you can update records, you can delete records. Now by records I mean the rows in the tables. You can create new databases using SQL. You can create new tables in the database. You can create stored procedures in a database. And you can create views in a database. And we'll discuss what all that is momentarily. Not momentarily, probably in future videos, like when we get to views and stored procedures and all that stuff and creating new tables. And you can also set permissions. So set permissions on tables, procedures, and views, and we can do all this using SQL. So that's something I just wanted to clarify. Now, the basics, and to start off, SQL, what we want to talk about is a select statement. So a select statement is used to just retrieve data. So you can't really manipulate any data with select within the database. It's just for accessing data. So in my database, I have a table called customers, which I created, and I've inputted some data in there. And we'll learn how to do all that later on. Now what I'm using is Oracle Live SQL. Keep in mind with Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, the syntax may be a little bit different in some cases, but we're going to stick mainly with Oracle Live SQL. And as I go on and the queries and what we do gets a bit more complex, I'll start explaining how it's done in Microsoft SQL Server and in other places. Now, I mainly work with Microsoft SQL Server, but I decided to do this with Oracle Live SQL just because I used to do Oracle a while back, and I really enjoyed working on Oracle, and it's a very easy to use setup, which any of you can use. Oracle Live SQL, so you can search that up. I'll put a link in the comments below. Actually, I'll put a link in the description below, and it'll show you where the website is, so you can set up your own database, and you can work along with me. This is somewhat of an intro just to show you what SQL can do, and we're going to work with just select in this video. So let's say I want to do select, right? So if I do select star, I'm basically telling the system that I want to select all columns in whatever table I'm going to search from. So I'm going to say select star from, and then I write the table name. And in my case, the table's name is customers. So once I do that and I hit run, I get my output here down below. Sorry, I zoomed in just so you can see the text. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole table. Alright, I hope this is not too small now, but so this is basically the names of my columns. So my first column name is customer ID, then first name, last name, email, city, state, county. So these are the 6 columns that I have in my database. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, guys. God, I went cross-eyed there a little bit, but alright. And then these are all the entries that I've put in there. So I have a total of 4 entries. Alright, and it's basically customer data. So I have the customer ID, and then the first name, last name, as you can see here, and so on and so forth. Now you're saying, okay, great, so I pulled a bunch of data. Now, what if you require basically a certain row, right? So in most cases, when you're programming and when you're actually using SQL to get data, you want to search specifics. So here we want to introduce what we call where. So if I come down here and I type in where, this basically means I'm going to be constricting the rows that I'm pulling. Keep in mind, so these are rows, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. All right, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. All right, so whenever I put a where statement, whatever I put after that is for me to constrict the amount of rows that I'm pulling, or to pull data that is specific. So I want something specific in those rows. So for example, very simple. So if I'm here and I write where, so I'm like, okay, what do I want to pull here? So I want to pull where customer ID equals. Now, I know that my customer ID is a number value, which means I don't need any kind of quotes or anything. I can just type in here 1000003. Now, once I run this, I'm basically limiting my select statement to pull only where customer ID equals 100003, which is right here, this one. All right, so I'm going to run this. And as you can see, it pulled only 10003. All right, that's great. So that was pretty simple. Now I'm going to remove this and run it again to see all the data. So now I want to say, okay, I want to pull somebody who lives in New York but is in Nassau County. All right, let's say in Queens. Okay, now let's do Nassau County. Okay, so here, since I want to limit the rows, I say where state, so that's the name of my column, equals New York. Now I have to put these single quotes because this is basically a string value, and this is how we indicate it in SQL. So if I run this, that's great. It gave me 3, but that's not really what we asked for. We want all the data where the state equals New York and the county equals Nassau. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an additional limit on the rows, and to do that I type in and. So I'm going to put and county equals Nassau, like so. All right. Now if I put lowercase n here, it's not going to pull the data. Oracle is case sensitive, so we have to make sure we keep that in mind. Like so. Okay, and we'll learn how to get past that in future videos and tutorials. For now, just keep that in mind, that the data you search is case sensitive. Okay, so now we put 2 limitations in there. So we say select star from customers where state equals New York and county equals Nassau. So it gave me my result over here. And let's say, so I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to hit run again. All right, so now let's say I want all customers that live in New York. No, it might get too complicated, but I'm going to go for it. Just follow along with me. So I want all customers that live in New York and are in either Nassau County or Suffolk County. Okay? You know what? No, actually, let's dumb it down. Not dumb it down. Sorry, guys. I mean, let's kind of make it a little bit easier. So let's say select star from customers, where I want basically anybody who's in either the Nassau County or Orlando County. All right? So if I come in here and I type in where county equals Nassau or county equals Suffolk, like so. Now over here we're using or, and we're saying if county is this or this, I want that data. So once I run this, it'll give me those 2 rows. Now another way to indicate it if it's just a simple or statement like this is you can do where county in Nassau and Suffolk. So this in, you're basically saying where county equals either this or this, and you can go on and on. So if I run this, it gives me the same two results. Perfect. Now for our final one, let's get a little bit more complicated here. So I want everybody who lives in New York, okay, and is in the Queens County or the Suffolk County. All right, so how do we do that? So we're going to say where state equals New York. Okay, that's clear. And then, now I don't want to put or here because if I put or, it'll basically it'll return all these three results here. And I don't want that. So I do want to say, well, actually, let me show you the wrong way first. So or county equals Queens or county equals, I think I said Queens and Suffolk, right? Forgot what I said. All right. So I'm saying where state equals New York or county equals Queens or county equals Suffolk. So this will actually give me all three results, and that's not what I want. I want where the state equals New York and county equals Queens or Suffolk. So all I have to do here is I have to change this into an and my or statement is going to be this and this. Let's move this up a little bit so it's clear. So I'm saying where my state equals New York and the county equals Queens or Suffolk, like so. So if I run this, it gives me those two results. Now another way, since this is a simple or statement, we'll get into more complicated ors where you can't really convert that to a in statement. But I'm going to do in Queens or Suffolk, like so. In that case, I don't need this. And when I run this, it'll still give me those two results. So I hope that was somewhat clear. This was just basic select statements. Now, one last thing I want to say is if you don't want this star, right? Like here, I put a star because I'm saying that, okay, I want all the columns. But let's say I want just the first name, last name, and email. So if I replace the star with the actual column names, it's going to give me only that data. So the select limits the columns, and the where limits the rows. Okay? So whatever you put in the where statement is what's going to pull in the rows, and whatever you put in the select statement is what's going to pull in the columns. So I hope that was clear and not too complicated. We are going to get into more complex things where we use multiple tables and so on and so forth. But I think that's enough for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'm going to show you guys how you can set this up. It's really simple. All you have to do is go to the Oracle Live SQL website and set this up. And I'm going to put the website in the comments below. And just to show you really quickly, I'm going to zoom out of this a little bit to 100%. And let me just end this here. Okay, so if I go to this website here, livesql.oracle.com, just click on Start Coding Now. All right. Now, if you don't have an account, it'll ask you to create one. So what you want to do is you want to create an account. So I'm going to sign out here so I can show you. So you want to sign in and you want to create an account. Once you create your account, you'll be able to use this module. And, in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to create a table and insert data so we can start coding. I hope you guys enjoyed this introduction. Once again, if you liked the video, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it. And also, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.